Another World is an awesome platform game that was made and released on the Amiga back in 1991. It was also ported to pretty much every other system in the early 90s. And in 2006, there was a 15th anniversary re-release for Windows XP that had upgraded graphics, more checkpoints, updated sound quality, extra content that was originally added to the console versions, and higher resolution support. Finally, I get to see those hot alien asses in HD. Aw yeah. The game is about a guy named Lester who is supposed to be a physicist even though he just looks like some random teenager. He also has a Ferrari and a high-tech underground laboratory. What? Anyway, so he's working on some experiment using a particle accelerator during a thunderstorm when lightning strikes the laboratory and interferes with his experiment, which causes him to teleport to some weird alien planet. From then on, he pretty much gets raped by tentacles, poisoned by slugs, shot by lasers, eaten by animals, raped by tentacles, raped by aliens, spiked, blown up with grenades, drowns, falls to his death. And did I mention tentacles? You can fight back though. In the first level you can only kick, but after that you find a gun which you can use through the rest of the game. It's pretty neat since it has 3 functions. It can shoot a basic laser, it can create force fields to block enemy fire, which is very helpful, and you can charge it up to make a powerful charge shot that can take out shields and certain walls. One thing that's really annoying though is that the attack button is the same as the run button, and so you have to make sure you're standing still when you attack. It's especially annoying in the first stage when you're trying to kick slugs. This game takes a lot of trial and error if you're playing it for the first time, but when you do figure it all out, it's pretty simple. I haven't played it in years, but I was able to beat it in about an hour even after dying quite a few times, so it can be a pretty short game. I used to have this game as a kid on the Super Nintendo where it's called Out of This World, and I played through it a million times. I loved it. It was a very cinematic experience and did things that games just really didn't do at the time, like have some lasers miss you and have things going on in the background and foreground. It was amazing to see cutscenes too, because they just didn't really exist on console games back then, at least not with this quality. I never actually played the PC version until now. There are a couple differences that I noticed and a couple of things that I missed from the console version, surprisingly. The 15th anniversary edition looks great and runs super smooth, but it maybe runs a little too fast. The console versions had a much crappier frame rate, but in a way that was a good thing because it made the game a little easier. When it's running fast, you really gotta be on your toes and do some things perfectly. It can be a little annoying. The console versions also had music, which I've gotten so used to hearing that it felt a little too quiet when playing the PC version, which only had music for the intro and ending. This of course just comes down to personal preference, as I'm sure there are people that prefer the more quiet version, as I guess it makes it more atmospheric. But I do wish it included the music and had an option to turn it off or on. Kind of like how they have an option if you want to use the old graphics instead of the new graphics. What's always interesting about a lot of old classics like this is that it's only developed by one guy, a French developer named Eric Chahi. You might know of his other game on PC and PlayStation called Heart of Darkness, which actually plays very similar to Another World. Rated E for everyone. He also had a game that came out this year called From Dust. You can buy Another World 15th Anniversary Edition at Good Old Games for $9.99, although you should probably wait till it goes on sale for $5 like I did. It's a little too short for $10, but that's just my opinion. I still think it holds up well, and I still have fun with it. It's a very cool cinematic experience that I'd recommend to anyone.